Welcome to Cougar Network News.
Hello and welcome back to Cougar Network News with your hostess Litzy Cepeda
and your co-host Matthew Spears. First off, we have Whitney Carroll and Justin Franklin going around talking to teachers and students about the projects around the school.
Teachers at the Blue Mountain High School spend a great deal of time crafting lessons that will not only teach students content, but also engage them in the learning process. Recently, the English department at the high school has involved their classes in such projects. Ms. Taylor, Mr. Grisham, and Ms. Michael have all recently assigned projects to pair with the text they are reading in class, including Lord of the Flies, Devil in the White City, and The Diary of Anne Frank.
This project is for our 8th grade unit over the Holocaust and specifically The Diary of Anne Frank. Now this project specifically, it covers Jewish victims that were contained in the concentration camps. So what happened is each of our students got a victim. Now these victims can range between newborns or the elderly, and if you were a female, you did get a female candidate, and if you were male, you got a male candidate. So what happened was we did research on their life before they were taken into the concentration camps, and we followed along with them as they journeyed from camp to camp. Now, have not determined yet if they were survivors or if they were killed due to the concentration camps, but that is something we're going to learn as we continue through the semester. I definitely think they learned from the project. I believe they learned sympathy because we all know about the Holocaust. We know it was a big, tragic event, but we can't really sympathize with it, or definitely empathize, but I think getting to see people who were living good lives, people who were just born, or people who were almost finished with their lives, seeing them put in this tragic situation and kind of putting a face with the name, that helped them learn sympathy and understand that this was big and this is real.
Okay, so we were reading The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson as our first book of the semester. And what we wanted to do was to create theme storyboards. And each student was assigned a chapter or two, and they had to describe through pictures mainly, and in some cases words, what not only happened in their chapter, but also how that chapter relates to an overall theme of the book, like good versus evil, darkness versus light, or fast-changing times. I think if you give projects that are very structured, then it does help with student learning. But it has to be very structured. It has to have a purpose. It can't be just a project to sort of break up the day. It's got to be something that is worthwhile and that students can get out of it. Because not only did they work these posters or create these posters, they also had to present what their poster was about. So they had to do some speaking and listening. They had to actually be able to explain why they chose their theme and those sorts of things to give students more sort of control and more ownership of their own work. I think it's great to get people in front of an audience. Now, not everybody's the strongest public speaker, but we want people to feel comfortable. And if they're not comfortable, they're going to have a harder time in life. You've got to be able to sort of put yourself out there, be a little vulnerable, and in order to sort of progress and to actually sort of be noticed and be able to share your ideas. The project itself, I think, did help with students in determining and learning what theme is, because almost every student had just a perfect score on actually knowing what their theme was. So they did learn theme through that project.
Thank you.
And now we have Hannah Stanley talking with Coach Lovett about the archery team and their upcoming games.
Teachers at Blue Mountain School wear a lot of hats. All teach classes. Many sponsor clubs and teams, while others coach a sport. Coach Robert Lovett teaches elementary math in 5th and 6th grade, which are both state-tested areas, while balancing life as a husband and father to 2 boys as the Cougar archery coach.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity to be able to share and be on this program. I enjoy watching you guys on this program, and even while I was in the hospital, I watched you fellas. So I think y'all doing a great job. And for the archer team, I believe we're going to do the best that we can. We have to compete with the basketball team and other programs for the gym to be able to practice, and we have very limited times we can practice, but when we do practice, we practice hard. We have a good time at it. We enjoy it. And the fellowship and just hanging out with the other the students and just having a good time out there.
Why do you have such a good relationship with your...
Well, the reason I have a good relationship with the kids is most people think I'm on the same level as the kids. But I enjoy just having fun. That's all about, sports is all about, is having fun. To win or lose is not really the main goal out there. It's to get better every time we practice. It's to have fun, and we worry about winning and losing later.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And now to Ramon with 3 facts about the Hispanic culture.
Hola, hoy voy a hablar sobre platos típicos de Honduras. El número 1, el que más nos gusta, es el pollo con tajada. El segundo plato que también los fascina a todos los hondureños son las famosas baleadas.
And now for our special segment. We are speaking on the topic of breast cancer awareness for October. Me and Whitney Carroll have the opportunity to sit down and speak with a few teachers who have battled breast cancer.
This month is about breast cancer awareness. It is not about playing video games, and it's not about memes, and it's not a joke. Tens of thousands of women who have breast cancer have been fighting it for most of their lives. Most of these women rely on support from their family and friends. Some have beaten breast cancer before, like Miss Cook and Miss Horton. She wanted to tell us more about her breast cancer survival story.
Good evening. My name is Mrs. Beatrice Mitchell, and I am a breast cancer survivor.
Today we are speaking with Miss Cook, a 5th and 6th teacher at Blue Mountain Elementary. Today we are speaking on the serious topic of breast cancer for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Miss Cook, how did you feel when you first received the news?
I was devastated. I felt very sad. I felt very depressed. I felt very alone. I felt like my world had just come to an end, and I didn't know what to do, which direction to turn, who to talk to. I was just in awe of the news that had just been given me.
But of course, with the help of your students, it helped a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. My students were just amazing through the entire process that I had to go through. They helped me, they graded papers for me, they toted my books for me. They were just amazing to me. They were always concerned and wondering and worrying about how my day was going.
Could you please talk about some of the obstacles that you faced during this very serious time of yours?
Hey, after discovering that I had to do chemo, I worried about if I would get sick. I'd heard so many myths and rumors about the sickness that came along with the treatments from breast cancer. So that was one of my main issues that I worried about. But the most challenging obstacle I had during the entire process was the chemo burnt my hands and my feet. And it was just a very, very painful experience. I could not touch paper, or a task as simple as putting my lunch into a lunch bag was challenging for me. I was not able to give myself a bath in the afternoons. I had to have someone to come in and help me. And I just remember one day going home and just crying out to the Lord about what I was going through. I had to wear house shoes on my feet, but during that entire time I came to school every day, except for the time when I actually had my surgery. There was one particular time that I just had to go home. I couldn't take the pain anymore. So I would say that that was the most difficult thing I went through, and just facing my fears.
And I know that lots of people are going through this, young women and men. Do you have any advice for any of them who are going through the same thing that you went through?
Yes, I would just like to say, keep a positive attitude. Draw from the strength of your faith that the good Lord can help you get through anything, because He certainly helped me and others that I know to get through this process. One thing I want to make special emphasis on is to get your yearly mammograms. This is very important. If something is not right, or you think something is not right, please go and have it checked out. And one more important thing I would like to stress to young women and men: when you do go to get your mammogram, ask to see your report. So often we get our report and we take the doctor's words and we think, oh yes, they've given us the exact information, and sometimes they do make mistakes. But ask to see for yourself so that you know the report that you're getting is accurate, and you feel along with your doctor that this is an accurate report. And just be aware that, breast cancer is a terrible thing for anyone, but through the help of the good Lord and so many advances in medicine today, I think, we're soon to find a cure. I do.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have. Thank you so much, Ms. Cook, for your time.
Welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Horton, and I'm a breast cancer survivor.
Today we are speaking with Ms. Horton, a teacher at Blue Mountain High School who helps special ed students in 7th and 8th grade. Ms. Horton, how did you feel when you first received the news?
When I got the phone call, I was just in disbelief and shock. And then when that finally sunk in, it was just scary, just very scary.
And could you please talk about us? What are some of the things you faced, like obstacles, every day during this moment?
Well, first I had to find a surgeon. The doctor would not tell me a surgeon. He just said, do some research and find a good surgeon. So I did. I found a surgeon in Memphis, and she's one of the best known breast cancer doctors around. And then I had to find a plastic surgeon, and all of that was left up to me. And then after I scheduled the surgery and had all that done, then I had to wait to see if I needed chemotherapy or radiation, which, thank the Lord, I did not. So all I did was I had 2 surgeries.
And I know there's many young women and men who have been going through the same thing that you did. So do you have a message or any advice for people who are going through the same thing that you did?
Well, first of all women need to do self-examinations, have their mammograms, and then once you are diagnosed, it's always better to find somebody that's been through it, a survivor, to talk to for support, to find out what doctors they've been to, what hospitals, and just any advice they can give you.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. This year, an estimated 41,760 women will die from breast cancer in the United States. According to the World Health Organization, breast cancer is the most common cancer among women worldwide, claiming the lives of hundreds of thousands of women each year and affecting countries at all levels of modernization. There are over 3.5 million breast cancer survivors in the United States. On average, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in our country.
but there is hope. Death rates from breast cancer have been declining, in part due to better screening and early detection, increased awareness, and continually improving treatment options. We are so thankful for the restored health of our beloved teachers, including Mrs. Mitchell and Mrs. Horton, as well as Blue Mountain's own Mrs. Robin Merritt and Mrs. Maxine Stark, who also survived breast cancer and serve as powerful reminders of the strength and perseverance that it takes to withstand this disease. These women are examples to us all. To all other breast cancer sufferers and survivors, we wish you strength and peace, and most of all, a cure. For more information about the fight to cure breast cancer, visit www.bcrf.org.
Let's find a cure for breast cancer.
Today I'd like to take time out to thank everyone for watching this week. I'd also take time out to wish Matthew Spears, our co-anchor, a happy belated birthday.
Have a great weekend.
Hello and welcome back to Cougars Network News.
Cougar Network News.
For a new part of Spanish segment.
I'm not saying all that.
Okay, so just.
And now to Ramon. And now to Ramon. And now to Ramon.
We all just killing me.
Okay, good. And now to Ramon.
Can you get some?
I know, have a great weekend.
Today, I'd like to take...
Y'all let him go. Alright, ready?
I'm sorry.
3, 2, 1.
So today, I take time out to wish our co-anchor Matthew Spears. I pointed out like he's still here.
No.
I had to redo it because he ain't here no more.
3,
No, what's called?
1.
So
Yeah, how do you do it?
Press play.
We were trying to get it in focus.
They said the camera adds 10 pounds to me. So I need to suck up, don't I? Can I beef up here at the top? My head or my face?
Like your head and your head.
Here, we're going to do the best we can with what we got. Well, I am trying to talk here. I was going to say, even in the hospital.
I'm sorry.
Even in the hospital, I watched you guys.
Okay.
Seriously, I was in the hospital for a while.
I laughed. I'm sorry. I'm not.
When did you start laughing?
I can't remember.
Well, I'll start over then.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna fix myself. Hold on.
What is this?
Hold on.
Talk loud. Talk in the speaking.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, so this is our. You can come on if you're trying to come through. Do limbo. Look here. That's not going to look real.
I'm just trying to get in the blooper reel. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Taylor. This is for the blooper reel. I'm kissing this mic.